This tutorial will show you how to modify unapproved hours and expenses in the Time and Expenses module of Assistance PSA. Navigate to the Time and Expenses module of Assistance PSA and click Hours. In the list display, click the description of the entry you need to modify. In the next screen, you will recognize the same fields as in your timesheet, only laid out differently. You will also find a Pricing, Approval, and Expenses section. Because this entry hasn't been approved yet, you can modify any of the fields displayed here, the only exception being the Invoice field, which will display the invoice number when the entry is billed. This field can only be populated by PSA. In this example, you need to change the hour type Consultant at $145 per hour for Senior Consultant. Save the data, but remain in the same screen. PSA will update the time entry according to the new hour type. Now go to the Expenses section of your screen and check the Expenses box. In the top ribbon bar, you will see that you can add a new expense to this time record or modify the existing one. Click the description of the expense. PSA will open the record. With the exception of the Invoice field, you can modify any of the fields displayed here. Change the cost and selling amount of the entry and mark it as reimbursable. Once you are done, save and close the window. Back in the time entry, click General to change the top ribbon bar. And again, save and close the window. Note that you can also modify expenses directly from the Expenses entity. In the list display, simply click on the record you need to modify. And in the next screen, make the necessary modifications. Once you are done, simply save and close the window. You have now modified unapproved hours and expenses entries in the Time and Expenses module of PSA. Your next step is to go in Assistance PSA and do the corresponding exercise in the step-by-step guide, The Fundamentals.